Come all you moonshiners if you want to hear.
Welcome to Barley and Hops. I'm George. Yes, and if you're new to the channel, this is the channel that dares to unlock the mysteries of home distilling. For everybody, brewers, hobbyists, distillers, people who are plain curious, welcome. Please subscribe, like us, you know the routine. Now, I've been through a lot, and I promised to hear I'm back, and we're getting into it, and I've learned an awful lot over the past several days. And one of them is, and probably the most important, is that I have found things that I have forgot where I had put them, and it has taken me a while. So I've got rearranged, and I got a little bit more, a different setup now, so let's get right at it. I thought we would do a little bit of housekeeping. Because I have found that I needed a whole lot of housekeeping. You may too. So for a lot of you, this will be a review. For many, this will be very brand new. But these are a little bit of tips and tricks and things that you need to keep in mind if you're getting into this hobby. They're not hard. They are not difficult at all. And believe it or not, it's accessible to any and everybody. Now, over the last couple years, you know, I think I mentioned in the last video that I got into a lot of different things, a lot of traveling. I got into woodworking. Yeah, I'm pretty proud of these, so I thought I'd show them to you. I got a couple of cutting boards I made, a new term I learned, charcuterie, a charcuterie board made with some Purple Heart. But trust me, I will not make any videos on woodworking. Too intense, and oh, by the way, there are plenty of professionals out there that are going to do a great job. So that's where I got it all, YouTube. All right, on to why we're here and what we're doing. I learned, and as I went through this process, a lot of times we take for granted cleanliness, how to clean, what to clean, some tips and tricks and things to use to clean, and of course, sanitation. Now remember, there's a difference between sanitary and sanitize. Think about that. Yeah, I always say, English is a precise language when utilized precisely. You can be sanitary by keeping things clean and in general kind of clean things up and prevent stuff from growing that you don't want to grow. But when you sanitize, now we're talking operating room, okay? There is a difference. So don't get wrapped around that. I've heard of and have discussed it with folks that thought that, well, you know, one guy had to put on a whole suit, you know, plastic off his kitchen. That's a little bit overkill, okay? As long as you're sanitary, you're going to be just fine. Now, I brought this out because the best way to show something to someone is to demonstrate it, because results always give you the full story. And that's why I love doing these videos so much, because we actually go through the process and we produce results, and you get to witness it and live through it at the same time. Here, this is one of my 4-inch bubble plates from my 4-inch column I got from Mile High. And it's a 4-inch column. I got 6 of these suckers. And there's so many different variations. We're going to get to that on another video. Now, I've already made the cleaning solution for this, and I'm going to drop this in. This will be the demonstration because you're going to love this. Now, I'll put it in this pan. I just let this sit there. It's called 551. 500 milliliters of water, 50 milliliters, it's about 16 ounces, 50 milliliters of hydrogen peroxide. It's, gosh, 7, 8 ounces. Please don't hold me to that, but it's 50 milliliters. It's easy. And 1 ounce of citric acid, or right at 30 grams. I think it's 29.5, something like that. But right at 30 grams. Now, this is one of those recipes, or when you throw it together, you don't have to be perfectly exact. Be in the neighborhood, you know what I mean? Within a couple of ounces or a couple of milliliters. So let's mix it up real quick. 500 milliliters of water. And this is so easy to, oh, by the way, I've got another piece of copper here, and I'm going to drop that in there at the same time, so you can see the results. Oh, yes. Now we're going to go 50 milliliters. And this is marked off, starts at 100, so I'll go halfway to that line. 50 milliliters of hydrogen peroxide. And I got this from Walmart. It's the 3% style. version. It's 32 ounces. I think I paid like about $1. I don't know, 82 cents, $1, somewhere in that neighborhood. And 1 ounce or 30 grams or easily 2 tablespoons of citric acid. Now, if we give that a stir, that just mixes it up real well. Now, you can save this stuff as well. I mean, once you use it, you can save it. Let me drop this one in here. We'll do a double test. Now, during the amount of time it took me to demonstrate how to mix that, it's called 551, 500, 50, and 1. And it comes in handy. You can save, you can put it in a jar, put a lid on it and save it. It'll last you. At some point in time, once you start putting things like copper mesh in there or some copper rashing rings or beads or any other kind of metals, fine metals, don't put anything galvanized in there. Once you do all of that, you'll notice it'll start to turn a greenish blue color. It's time to probably change it out. But for the cost, it's really, really useful. Oh, let's pull this out. Look at the difference in that. In just that period of time that we mixed that up. So I let this sit in here and just soak for 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, however long it takes. Look what it did to that copper pipe. Now just imagine what that does to the inside of a worm, a copper worm. You know, fill it up, put your fingers on both ends and just sit there and rock it back and forth, or somehow cap it off and just let it sit there for a little while. And of course do the outside because it makes it look nice. I'm going to set this aside because we're kind of done with that. And our 551, we'll put that aside because we're actually finished with that. And that brings me to the next thing, which is cleaning. Now, you can use a bunch of different things. Oh my goodness, I had some Sea Bright. You got Sea Bright, you got Bee Bright. That's available at any brew shop. And it's a really good product. It takes like two ounces for 2.5 gallons to clean out your fermenters, to clean out your buckets, anything that you use to hold liquid in. It's a real good cleaner. But just remember, you got to get the hard stuff out first. I found, and this was years ago when I was doing, I did a few videos. As a matter of fact, here's one. I think I got the link right here. And that's when I was doing making gin. And we were using a chemistry set, with the flasks and everything, because we wanted to be able to see what was going on. And we were trying to scale up a good recipe, so we were testing out small batches. But I got this stuff called Alkanox. And this is used in hospitals, restaurants, in any kind of service industry, and it's a really good cleanser. Plus, it's like super concentrated, and all you have to do is, once you use it, is just rinse it out with potable water, which would be water that you can drink. Comes right out your tap. Some taste good, some doesn't taste good, but it's potable if it comes out of your tap. Normally, if you're on a municipal water system, it's potable water. But this stuff is like really good. You only use 1.5 ounces for 2 gallons. So this is one of those where you need to be careful, because if you have that attitude where a little bit more means a whole lot, this stuff gets really sudsy real quick, and it really goes a long way. So if you're interested, you can get that on, it's called Alkanox, and you can get it on Amazon. Yeah, Amazon's got it, or anywhere you can buy chemistry equipment, and I'm sure they have some other name brands out there that are just as good. And of course, you know about my favorite, Star San. I've used Star San probably since the inception of this channel. This is some of the most potent, wonderful liquids that are probably on the market. It's probably, okay, I got to be careful. It's probably not the best, but it is extremely effective. And it takes, I put 1/4 ounce in this spray bottle, which is probably just a little bit too much. But this is a spray, shake, and use. And it's used, again, in hospitals, in the food industry, in in just about any industry that has to have a sanitary environment. Now here are some other good uses for it. This really comes in handy. I don't want to babble too much, but you know, for those who have, you have a shower curtain, and all of a sudden you'll start to smell that mildew. Mildew is formed by it's an environment. Your shower is probably the wettest environment in your home, especially after you've showered, because it stays wet. Well, that's where this fungi lands and starts to grow, because it just needs the proper temperature. It needs a lot of water. You take some of this, put it in your shower, and just spray it on the bottom of that shower curtain every couple of days. You'll probably never have any mildew buildup on there, because it'll kill it. It kills it immediately. And it's also, you don't have to rinse it. So this is a spray, shake, and then use. As an example, during any kind of mixing or anything, I just spray it, shake it, and now it's time to use. So, but of course it's got to be clean first. So get on with that. What we will be using here in the near future, and I've had a lot of questions about these. These are a couple of glass fermenters. These are just two examples of several that we have. And I've got one as large as 23 and a half or 25 liters. So they're really big. They have these cloth handles on the outside. These are excellent because they're wide mouth. Now, the construction or the material of your fermenter is not as important as the cleanliness of it. So I use this Alkanox to clean these. I also use it to clean buckets. I also use it to clean my fast ferment. I clean just about anything and everything with it. And these I found and they're reasonably priced. $14, I think $12. And I bought these at a local Asian mart. Anywhere where you're going to find an Asian style grocery market is normally where you'll find these. That's where they'll be located. You can find them online. Caution. Some people online really like theirs a whole lot more than you can find on your local market if you can find an Asian market. Because they use these for making a lot of different varieties of kimchi and other types of fermented style of foods. What's really, really useful about these is this one has a top on it. That's your number 5 bung with an airlock. Fits perfectly inside. Wow, great. This one has another separate lid that goes on the inside. And I'll pull that off in a second. There you go, and it just snaps on. But it has a hole in the top of it. And the same airlock that you use in your 5-gallon carboy fits right in there as well. So, airlocks. Of course, there are several different types of airlocks that you can use. This is the double bubble. This is the triple. Gosh, see, it's so easy to forget terminology, but this is a 3-piece. And this one is really neat because it clacks. So if you get it going really good, you can hear it clacking. This one here, you'll see it bubble. There's no need to put distilled water or sanitized water or Star San or anything inside your airlock, okay? Because your airlock is there. It's only as a lock. Nothing should go back inside. So all you're doing is pushing out CO2. So you don't get wrapped around the axle about these as much, except for keep them clean. It kind of makes sense. I mean, it goes along with the territory. My goodness, that brings us to, see, we're at the end of this already, and that was down and dirty. As always, happy distilling.